Hi everybody. It is April 11th and today we're going to do a little project. So we're going to move the box turtles today. We're going to move them and put them in the other pond enclosure because that's what that was built for. So the pond enclosure is over here. So the box turtles will have this whole back area to live in. They'll have the pond that they can hang out in if they need to. But that's where they'll end up living. That'll be their area. It's actually bigger than the area they have now. And so what we're going to do with this area where they've been living is we're going to take an old pond liner that I have, and we're going to put the pond liner in here, and we're going to turn this into just a pond for the aquatic turtles. So we're going to finally move them out. It's April 11th again, and so it's actually kind of chilly this morning. It's only 7 o'clock, but it'll warm up. It's supposed to get to 81 today. But what we're going to do is at least, let's see, this plant right here, and then this plant right here, those all died from the Texas freeze that we had back in February. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that plant right there, and then I've got a needleless cactus right here that'll be easy to dig up and move. And I'm just going to take all this stuff out, and all I'm going to do is I'm not going to dig down into the ground. I'm just going to put the liner over the top of, I'll trim the grass down real low, and I'm just going to put some the liner over the top of it, and that's going to be the new pond then for the aquatic turtles. So that's the project we're working on today, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so this is how the project's going so far. I've got the liner in, cleared out all the debris underneath it. I forgot to film that, but I put the liner in, and I put the boards back up. So I staple gunned the liner to the lower board, which is about 20 inches wide. So the pond will probably end up being about 16 inches deep most of the way around. It'll probably be shallower on this end because the pond does slant down towards those rocks. I got my big rock in the middle where the turtles can pull themselves up and sun themselves, and we'll see what the water level is. We might have to go with a smaller stone or flatter one. I did get some flat ones at Lowe's the other day, so we can use those. And then I put in a sand area over there and surrounded it by some big rocks for the what is it called? The soft shell turtle, because he likes the sand area, and then so does the African side neck. So the soft shell spiny back Florida turtle, they like the sandy area. So we'll see how much the rocks keep that sand in the same area. But anyway, in other words, we're going to kind of leave it the rest of the way open. We do have some other stuff that I'll stick in there eventually. Again, I got some of those flat rocks so that the turtles can pull themselves out and sun themselves during the day. So anyway, that's what it looks like so far. So we're going to start pumping some water into it and see how it fills up, and hopefully it holds water. Okay everyone, so here is the turtle pond, what it looks like. And so I'm using the old waterfall that I had on the other pond, and you see I set up a couple of spots for the turtles to get out and bask. I'll fix these little hoses a little bit later because I'm probably going to set up the I used to have an external canister that would clean the water on the old pond, so I'll probably set that up, and but I'll wait to play with those hoses later to decide how long they need to be. But right now they're fine. We'll let the water circulate for a little while. You see it's murky because of the sand, but that'll clean up as everything settles down to the bottom. But that's what it looks like. So it turned out pretty good, I think. So eventually I'm going to have to trim the edges here around the pond. Especially on the side where there's actually grass. This side's actually probably not that bad, but I'll trim it up anyway just so it looks better. But then I gotta clean up the yard. So, but anyway, hopefully it'll end up looking like this, and the turtles will end up liking it. I'll probably get some marginal plants to put around the pond, kind of like I do. Probably some irises. In fact, I might even move those irises over to that pond. I'm definitely going to move the water lettuce and hyacinths. I'll move those over there, so that this way the lilies can really kind of take over in this area. And that will look better, I think. And of course the turtles, I think they eat that water lettuce, because I put one little piece of it in their indoor enclosure, and it was gone like the next day. So I never did see it again. So the other turtles are in here, and let's see. Yeah, so Sokka is right there, chilling inside that area, and I saw Tex was walking around in the back area a little bit ago, so let's see if we can find her. Not sure where Zuko went. I did see him walking around the back area, but we'll see if we can spot. Tex was back here a minute ago. I'm not quite sure where she went. Let's see if there's a dove that lives in this. Oh, the dove is gone. There she is. Okay, so you can see she's kind of sitting up there on that hill. I don't know what she's doing, but anyway, she's been kind of like in that position for a while. So anyway, and there's Cinco. Cinco's been a big help this morning. He's been in charge of making sure that nobody comes and steals the pond. So good job, Cinco. So anyway, that's what it looks like. We're going to clean up the yard a little bit here. We'll probably find another place for that turtle house. I'll probably move it into this area, probably in that back area right there. We'll set it up. And anyway, that's what everything looks like. So we'll once I put the turtles in, we'll make that video. Hey everybody, it is April 16th, and today we thought I'd show how the pond that I made for the turtles looks so far. It's a week later, it's a week after I did it. And so this is what it looks like right now. I went out and got some water lettuce, and then I moved the water lettuce, some of the water lettuce that I had in the koi pond, I moved that over here to cover the top so that the turtles will have something to hide under. I got the old waterfall that I had for the other pond in here, and it's working really good. I got the pump down there on that end. I moved the zebra rush over here into this pond because this actually gets a whole lot more sun than the other one does. And I also moved the red velvet Elvis iris over here too. And I think they look pretty good. I think they're doing better because they get more sun. So anyway, we had a big cold front move through here, so it's actually about 60 some degrees here today, so there's actually not a lot of sun for them. The lilies are actually fake. I got those on Amazon for like $9 with the pads. So there's 4 fake flowers, and I think there's 10 pads in here. And then that's also fake, that underwater plant, that's fake plant. But anyway, that keeps the turtles from tearing up everything. So I also put some rocks in there so that the turtles can pull themselves out of the water and bask under the sunlight when the sun is out. I got some of the seed pods from my palm trees in there too, so that they can climb on, and they actually kind of like that stuff. Turtles like to be able to swim underneath stuff and hide. And in fact, this end over here I created was the sandy end. And so there's about an inch, maybe an inch and a half of sand under here on this end, and eventually I think I'll buy some more sand and put it around the whole bottom. But anyway, the spiny back soft shell turtle, he likes that. He likes to bear it, and you can actually see his head right there. That's him. He's got his head just barely poking up out of the sand. But anyway, he's got most of his body underneath the sand, and then he's hiding kind of underneath the seed pod too from the palm tree. The other turtles, they like to hide underneath there. They like the running water apparently. And the 2 sliders, they hang out underneath there. And then the map turtle, the Mississippi map turtle, I'll see him. He'll pop his head out every now and then. But again, he's really shy, and he kind of stays towards the bottom a lot. But he likes the running water anyway because he's used to being in the Mississippi River. Or at least that's what his genetics tell him to. So that's what it all looks like right here. But during all this move, when I moved the box turtles from here so I could create this pond, so I moved them over here into this area, and you can see everything's really growing up. The flowers are really growing up over here. I planted the hibiscus bush over here in this area too. Tex, the last time I saw her, she was underneath there, underneath that log, or the fallen palm tree. And then Zuko, he's buried himself over there. He's actually not using any of the houses. I got I moved all 3 houses over here, and he isn't using any of them. He's buried himself over there in that rubble over there. But I think, I'm pretty sure I lost Sokka, the brown box turtle with the orange leg markings, because I have not seen him like in over a week. So I've kind of searched in the area and I haven't found him, but I think he got out. And the reason why I think he got out is because I found Zuko over here. So these concrete blocks, they did not have caps on them. So I bought these end caps for them last week to raise up the height a little bit. But what I found Zuko, I found him in one of the holes. So he was actually over here underneath this one. And I think what he did is, I think they got in the water and they swam over here to this end, because box turtles will swim, and I think they swam over here to this end, and they probably either boosted themselves up off this brick, or over here in this corner you can see the pipe for the waterfall comes out of the water a little bit, and they might have boosted themselves up. And actually I think this is the one where I found Zuko, underneath this block right here. But anyway, I think he might have boosted himself up, and then he fell into the hole, and that's where he stayed. But Sokka was bigger and probably stronger since he wasn't all scarred up, and I think he got out, and so he's probably long gone now, unfortunately, which is sad, because I don't know how much his chances of survival are outside outside my giving him care, because there's lots of possums and cats, and of course the vicious dogs in the neighborhood. So hopefully he's all right wherever he is. Hopefully, there's a chance. Nice. There's a chance that he buried himself deeper in the soil over there alongside the house. But normally he doesn't do that. That's not his normal thing. And I would have seen him usually before now. But so I think he's gone, which is sad. But anyway, the rest of the pond's looking good. Maybe I'll think about getting an Asian box turtle that supposedly live in the water a lot more. Anyway, you can see I did buy end caps for the cinder blocks, and so I got that going all the way around, so it does look a little bit nicer. And I blocked off as much of the area that I thought that the turtles could climb. So I don't think they're getting out anytime soon. If they do get out, then they work their butts off to get out. So more power to them, I guess. So that's what it looks like. Cinco can still reach his neck over there to get himself a drink out of the pond. So so again, he's addicted to pond water now, I guess. So you can see the fish. The fish look really good. So in another week, I get to go back to the Aquatic Gems, or the Water Garden Gems place, and I'm going to pick out 3, maybe 4 other koi. I want to get some yellow ones to increase the color in there. And then again, I think they got these blue ones that I'm going to look for. But anyway, I think it looks better without all the floating plants, the floating water lettuce. And I did leave some of the hyacinths in there, because the ones over there on that side of the pond are doing really good. But I wanted to, actually I think it looks better without all that, the floating plants in there. I think it just looks a little bit better, because you can see the lilies are really growing. I got a bunch of lilies in there now, and they're really growing. And the pickerel rush, that actually bloomed. So there's 2 blooms on, I think there's 2 plants in this planter, and both of them have bloomed already. So I'm hoping that the water lilies soon send up some. And then this plant, the pennywort, I thought was dying, but actually I guess it's just some of the older leaves are dying, and you see the newer leaves are coming up, and they look good. There's a bunch of newer leaves underneath the water, and they look really good. The other one that's doing really good right now is the cattails. These cattails are doing really good, and so what I'll probably do is, you see that there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 plants in that one, and I think there's 2 or 3 plants in the other one, and so what I'll eventually probably do is split them up and maybe spread them out around the pond a little bit more, because cattails will spread around. But anyway, I think it would look cool to have on the margins, especially along the backside here, have that look more like what like a regular pond would look like. So anyway, and I also noticed the cardinal plant is looking really good right now. So I thought everything was everything was looking kind of droopy and all after the first week I had them in here. Actually, the first 2 or 3 weeks, everything looked like it was kind of not doing very good. But maybe they just got used to the chemistry of the pond and the fish being in there. And of course, I did change out almost everything and added a bunch of new water. So probably it took a while for it to all adjust and get back to normal for them. But I think everything looks really good in this pond. And I don't have any turtles in this one, just lots of fish. There's a ton of mosquito fish in there. You can't see them, but they are a bunch of mosquito fish. So those things do multiply. So actually my plan is, for this pond, is I'll eventually bring the African side neck. He'll be out here when it actually warms up enough. He needs to have the water pretty much at least 70 degrees all the time. And our temperatures still get dipped down to the 60s. And then it's supposed to get into low 50s tonight. So I'm debating on whether or not to bring in the sliders and the map turtle and the soft shell. Anyway, the idea is by sometime in May is to bring out those, clean out that whole pond, the whole indoor enclosure, and bring all those fish out here and let them be in here. I want to get some more water lettuce and maybe get some water hyacinth from that river and bring that in here, just so that, because those turtles, they'll swim around a lot more. They'll use the whole pond if they know it's covered, because they like to hide underneath things. And of course this area is really open, so I also want to probably try to find maybe a log to place in there so that they'll get up. I do catch them every now and then. I'll catch them sitting on top of the rock right there. They like that one because I can see them. I can see them from my deck door, so I'll look out before I come outside. I always look out the deck door to see if the patio door. I'll look to see if the turtles are out swimming around. And you probably can't see them through the camera, but actually I can kind of see the turtles, 2 of them anyway, swimming over there, over by the waterfall. Again, they hang out there, and the waterfall is actually sitting on a cinder block, and they actually sit in the holes of the cinder block in there, like those little caves. I've seen them swimming in and out of them, and they'll just sit there and rest under, and they like to sit underneath that one. I'm not quite sure why they're so attached to that one, but that's where they like to sit. So anyway, that's what everything looks like right now. Hopefully it'll warm up here next week, and everything will be back to normal down here in Texas.